My name is Samara Kress, and I am going to be performing a motivational interview. Hey, Ashley.
Hi.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me today. I definitely needed to come in.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're here. Last time you were telling me that you were having some problems with your landlord. What's going on with that?
Well, it's getting pretty bad. He came in and he has said, if we don't clean up the house and things like that, that they're talking about evicting us. So getting pretty anxious because, it's me and my daughter and, our cats and our dogs. So we won't have anywhere to go. So I'm pretty upset about that.
That's very understandable. Now tell me, how old is your daughter?
She's 6.
Okay. That's a really fun age.
Yeah, she's wonderful. She's in first grade. She just finished first grade, so she loved it.
That's really, really cool. So you're happy with her school?
Yes, I love her school. She's been having some problems, though, with schoolwork. We did have some issues over this year because she'd bring her backpack home and we'd kind of not remember where it is. And I know it's my fault just because of how I was brought up. I lived with my sister and she was messy and I just never really learned how to keep the house clean. And I'm just afraid that that's going to go into her life too. So it makes me really nervous because, she's missing homework. We forgot to bring stuff back, things like that. So she was getting in trouble for something that, I was doing.
So the situation with the house is a little bit out of hand. To the point where the landlord is not comfortable with the way that things are being maintained.
Yeah.
And now you want to set a good example for your daughter and have her have organization in schoolwork as well as good, healthy practices going forward.
Right. I just don't know where to start or where to begin. I just feel like I'm already so far, drenched with all of this that I don't really know what to do anymore. I feel like I'm drowning.
You feel overwhelmed
Yes.
by the situation.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about the house.
Well, it's her and I that live there, and then there's 3 cats and a dog, and we foster cats too. It's kind of gotten really messy. We brought everything over from my sister's house, all of my stuff. And honestly, we have too much stuff, but I hate making her my daughter Amaya take toys back, and I just hate that. So I like having Christmas to be big. I like to have her have a lot of toys, but with my weird work schedule, laundry piles up, things like that. So it's pretty messy. Like it's not good. I've gotten used to it. It doesn't bother me, but I know that I've had some issues. I've lost relationships because of it, because I can't keep the house clean.
When you say relationships, what do you mean?
Well, my husband and I are getting a divorce right now because he just couldn't handle dealing with all of the mess. He tried to keep it clean, and it just became such a big stressor in our lives that it really broke us apart. So I think that we're at that point where we need to.
Well, it sounds like you have a wonderful daughter, and you're passionate about animals, and you're here talking to me, and we're going to develop some coping skills. So tell me what you've tried in the past.
Well, I've done the whole, spring cleaning thing where, my friends come in and they've helped me clean out the house, and, it feels like the house is, decently clean. To me, it's spotless, but to them, it's, functional. But a week, 2 weeks later, it's back to everything, mostly because I refuse to throw things away. It makes me nervous. I'm afraid, that I'm going to fit back in the clothes, or I might need the clothes that are too big, or clothes with Amaya. I mean, I don't even want any more children, and I still have all of her clothes, and she's 6. So it's this fear of just letting go, and I think it's, part of my relationship with my husband, too. If I let all of that go, I'm letting him go, too, and it's just kind of been really, really difficult things are just piling up. We have way too much stuff.
Okay.
So.
Well, it sounds like this is complex and layered, and I guess there are a lot of different avenues that we could take in terms of talking about your family of origin, the need to hold on to things, feeling like you're losing things. But I guess what would you like to get out of this session?
Maybe just a starting point of where I can go from here to, literally clean up the house so that we don't have to be evicted.
Okay.
I just don't know where to start.
Okay, well that sounds like you seem like you're really in a good place in terms of recognizing that there's a problem. You obviously care very much. You're a good mom and you want to maintain the house, and that's great. Tell me about your support system.
My sister and my brother-in-law are pretty much, the people that I go to. I have a niece and nephew who are in their 20s, but besides that, that's about it. Everyone else lives out of state. My best friend lives down south, so it's kind of just her, and which is unfortunate because she's just as messy as I am. Okay. So she doesn't know where to start either. So
this is a family, multi-generational type of
unfortunately.
Thing. Okay. So tell me, these spring cleanings that you did, what kind of methods did you use to organize and discard things?
Basically the first thing we did was go and get the trash out. I'm so embarrassed to say it, but, trash just piles up, especially with the animals. There's plastic bags of things everywhere. And I guess I'm to the point where I'm realizing it's not healthy for my daughter either. So we kind of went through and, cleaned up all the trash and then found, homes for clothes, hung up all the clothes, things like that, just to get stuff off the floor so we could really even walk.
Okay.
So,
well, it really sounds like you know what you need to do.
It's just so scary because I feel like we've tried it so many times. It's like I'm going to relapse. I've done it so many times.
So you're afraid of failure and afraid that you're not going to be able to maintain.
Yeah.
And I think that we all feel that way about certain things. Everybody has a thing that they feel that way about. But I think that you really seem to have a purpose. You know what you want to do and what you actually need to do in order to stay in this house. And that's really positive. And it sounds like you've done it. And that's also really positive. Now, you said your husband still lives in the home?
Yeah, we're still going through the divorce, but it just makes things even more complicated.
Now, would he be a resource in terms of helping you to get things?
I don't think so anymore. I think that it would be more of a negative thing. I think very good at putting me down about this now, so that makes it really hard.
That's definitely not productive. Now, financially, do you have any resources in terms of bringing in outside help?
I honestly never thought about that. It's something I could definitely look into. I never even thought of that as something I could do.
Okay, well, I think that if there are some financial resources, that would be a really good place to start. And I think I tell my daughter, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And I think that you seem very ready for change, and that's terrific. And so I think it's going to be baby steps, and I can hook you up with some resources in terms of cleaning up.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.